And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Purple Pill Pod. I got a really special episode today. This is something I'm probably only, this is the first and only time I'm ever going to do something like this. We got an interview with Just Pearly Things. This is a really big thing to me, guys. This is a really big deal and opportunity. She's literally the person that kind of inspired me to make this entire channel, her and a few other people. And if it wasn't for her, y'all wouldn't be viewing this right now. So big shout out to her and thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. You have a dope setup here.
Thank you. I put a lot into it just so I could attract people like you to come onto it one day.
Yeah, no, I think you did a good job. The studio looks dope.
Thank you so much. Guys, for the content today, I just want to kind of interview her a little bit so y'all can learn more about her. I want y'all to go like and subscribe and everything to her also because she's literally the inspiration for a lot of my theories and stuff. And I would love for y'all to go and show her some support. And we're just gonna learn more about her so y'all can kind of understand why I have the theories I have about some things,
Okay.
and why I have the kind of red pill thought that I do.
Okay.
Um, to start, I want to know what was your early life like? Like, how many brothers, sisters did you have? How much was your dad in your life? Your mom, like, were they traditionally conservative? Were they, how were they?
So I have 9 siblings total. But I grew up with six, so I was the second out of six. And I grew up as an athlete, so I was a three-sport athlete, and from a young age, that's like my first memories is just like to and from practice. My parents, they own a computer software company together. And my dad was actually gone a lot, but he was always there for the big stuff. But he was definitely working a lot. Um, yeah, that's like
Okay.
where I.
And so, like, your brothers, how big of an influence do you think your brothers had on you? Like, are they a big reason why you do what you do in the men's space?
Yeah, no, I'm actually. Yeah, I'm really close with my brothers. I grew up between two boys. I was the second out of six, but they adopted three teenagers later, and then they gave up a kid for adoption. I found out about later. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So it's like kind of a blended mixed family, but yeah, no, I'm close with my brother Austin and my brother Adam. They're both 2 years older and 2 years younger with me than
Oh,
me.
okay. What did you go to school for? What are you doing for your job other than YouTube and stuff like that?
Yeah. So, I went to college. I studied economics and business administration. I played volleyball, basketball, and I ran track in college. So I was very.
That's too much.
No, yeah, I was. That's the thing. Like my whole life, I've literally just been like an athlete. And then after college, I worked in sales for 2 years, and then I quit it to be a TikToker at the time. And then I was recruited to England to play semi-pro volleyball, and I got my master's. Well, I didn't actually get it. I'm still in school, but
Almost there.
yeah. So, yeah, I went to England to get my master's in psychology and play volleyball, and then that's where I started the channel.
That's awesome. It all goes hand in hand together. Psychology with what you're doing.
Yeah, sort
Yeah.
of.
I gotta ask, since you're such an athlete, do you
Uh-huh.
do you feel like the drive that you have for your YouTube channel and pushing it, the drive you have to kind of do all the stuff that you do you think a lot of that comes from your training, from your sports? Like that's what makes you so driven?
No, I think drive is kind of something you either have or you don't. I know a lot of very lazy athletes, like that do nothing and are just athletic. I just think in life,
Genetically
like,
gifted.
I feel like there's two types of people, and some people are just like naturally good at things, and some people naturally aren't. And I just think naturally, like, I've always had to work really hard at things in order to accomplish them. So, like, I was on the worst team at my club. There's 3 teams. I was a bench warmer on the worst one, and then I was the starter by my like 3, 4 years later on the top one. So it's just kind of like, yeah, it definitely taught me things. But I think I get my work ethic from my dad. Yeah, I look up to my dad a lot.
Well, so is she also working a lot also, or was she always home? Like, what did she do?
No, so my mom worked at my dad started a software company when he was like 21 or 22. And my mom was supposed to be a teacher and she quit that to go work for my dad. So my mom worked a lot too. Like work ethic is just something that's really big in my family. I mean, my mom did more of like the traditional roles, but she still worked.
Mhm. And, like, do you think that your brothers are just as driven as you are? Like, do they do just as much in sports and just as much, are they like your parents in that
Um,
way?
no, not my little brother Adam is, I would say, more driven than me. Adam is like he's like a workaholic, and Austin's really smart. So Austin, he kind of got away with not working as hard because he's just like good at everything. He's
So
just
you
like
have an overachieving family almost. Like, y'all are all kind of doing
it's
good.
yeah, it's like very very much achievement oriented. Like I think everyone older than me makes six figures, so it's like
Okay. So the reason why I'm kind of asking these things is because I find out more I learn about you, the more similar we kind of are in a
yeah.
lot of ways. I have a very overachieving family too. I have
Hmm.
four sisters that
Hmm.
are all bosses and take care. Like one's a
Yeah.
principal of a high or an elementary school at 32 years old.
Yeah.
Like overachievers.
Hmm.
But so because of that, I feel like I'm a little bit more in touch with my feminine side, and I feel like you're very in touch with your masculine side because you have so many brothers, and
Yeah.
you're good at
I'm
sports and
definitely a
everything like that.
tomboy. Yeah,
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 definitely
yeah.
consider yourself tomboy.
Yeah. I actually before if you look at videos before I started doing the show, I like used to never wear dresses or like anything or makeup, but I've been trying to be more like girly.
Yeah, like the pearls, like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
gotta look like a
yeah.
lady. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
no.
yeah.
So I do have a dating show technically. The Purple
Uh-huh.
Pill Pod is a dating show.
Oh,
So
shut
I like
up.
to have people on that are single. So then the single people of the world, on YouTube, the 3.6 billion people are able to possibly DM them.
Oh,
So
okay.
since you're single, let's go ahead and anybody that's watched that may watch this one day. Please come and DM because she is single. So some of the things I like to ask on my dating show also is just stuff about that person since they're single.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I want to know more about how you are in a relationship. Do you? I mean,
Mhm.
I think I have an idea how you are, but
Uh-huh.
since you're so driven and you're killing
Uh-huh.
it on YouTube and stuff
Uh-huh.
like that, are you able to put yourself back and kind of let the man be in his leadership role, or are you trying? I know that you don't preach 50-50 relationships, but would
Uh-huh.
it be easier for a guy to do that with you because of how good you're doing in life right now?
Would it be easier for him to do a 50-50?
Well, just kind of like let you kind of run some things because you're really good at it.
Uh-huh. I mean, I in a relationship, I am a big believer in people do what they're good at. I'm actually pretty coachable. I think like most coaches I've had, and I would say my ex-boyfriend would probably attest. I'm pretty coachable. I feel like men should. My dad disagrees with me on this, but I feel like men should handle the money, and I feel like if I'm married to a guy, like he should get the money and decide what we're doing with it.
See, and
That's
so I believe in that too, but I've seen so many relationships where like my accountant is a woman and she's amazing at her job. She's a
yeah.
great accountant. So sometimes I'm like, wouldn't my woman be better at me when it
Well,
comes to handling finances?
yeah, but I think the point is like the guy makes the final decision.
Hmm.
So, like, if I'm with a guy, that means I trust him to make decisions.
Hmm.
And if I'm giving you my body, like, I sure as hell hope I would trust you with money, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's like, because I think my body sure as hell a lot more valuable than freaking money.
Hmm. I was kind of thinking about something earlier too. What do you
Mhm.
think about driving? Do you like to drive? Do you hate to drive? Just because
Uh,
my girlfriend personally hates it. I was just wondering how you think.
no, I don't. I feel like we should return that right.
You don't like that?
Nah, nah, I'd be good in the passenger seat.
No, I've met tons of women that are like that, where they're just like, I never want to drive again. Like, can you please just be my chauffeur
I
forever?
mean, I can drive, and I wouldn't say I'm a great driver. But I'm good enough,
Yeah,
But I don't have a car in England, and I like don't mind not having a car.
I bet it would be fun to live in a city like that though, where you don't have to worry about it. So yeah, I gotta ask about that. So what do you think about moving to England? Compared to being in the United States, do you miss the U.S. at all? Are you way happier out there?
I miss my family. I love playing volleyball. It makes me really happy. I love to play. But I do really miss my family, and culturally, it's so similar that I forget I'm in the UK sometimes. Like, I just think it's like the West.
Just the accent different.
Yeah, the accents. I mean, some phrases they dress a little bit better. I would say. The food's worse. The people are a little thinner.
Yeah, chips or fish and chips would get old real quick. I feel like.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even eat it, but
No,
the guys are taller in England. Fun fact: they're 30% of men under 30 are over 6 foot, so they're taller.
I wonder
Don't
why.
know why.
I have no idea why that would ever happen. I thought
Listen,
everybody was taller probably here because we have so many competitive sports people and stuff.
I would guess that maybe it's just the city. It like it's that's just from the city. It's not from.
So you like living there because how tall are you for everybody to know?
I'm 6 foot.
Okay, so you like it being out there because it's easier, I'm guessing, to date and stuff?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I won't lie. I haven't done a ton of it just because everything grew so fast with the show, and it kind of got overwhelming at some points. But
Working way too hard right now.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Now it's a lot easier
You had to
because
outsource everything.
yeah, now since I've gotten to hire people, but oh my gosh, when I first started the show, it was like hell on earth.
Okay, well, for the people that might be watching that are single and like that you're single, are you are you gonna try more to date now in the next few months since you're able to put some of those jobs on other people?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay. So as a girl dating, but you preach all this red pill stuff,
Uh-huh.
what do you think is like when you go on these dates? What are some tips that you're going to enact on that you would give
Uh-huh.
to women that are going on the same type of dates as you? Like, how would you act?
How would I act? I mean, I believe in not wasting your time and going on a date with a guy that you're not interested in sleeping with. So that's like my number one tip.
He
I
needs to
think
be that attractive at least, or that much of a provider or something. And
yeah, like, cause I just think a lot of times as women, like, we waste time with guys we don't really like. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the
why
beta bucks.
yeah, yeah, and it's like, why are you wasting time with a guy that you don't even really like, and you're wasting his
Some of
time?
them need the beta bucks. They need the money. They need the provision or something.
Yeah, I actually asked this question earlier, but I'm really attracted to guys that are protectors more than I'm money isn't a huge thing for me, and I think it's probably just because I
You
come
never worried about it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it's probably a privileged place, but I really like guys that like I feel like can protect me. Like I think that's what I'm really attracted to.
I could see it being a privilege, like women that are maybe higher socioeconomic or
Mhm.
just in a better position. You might want that provider or that protector more than the provider. See, and I'm the
Yeah.
opposite of you. I believe that the reason the world is so out of whack right now is
Uh-huh.
because of provision. I believe that the reason why everything is messed up is because men can't be providers anymore,
Mhm.
and then they become feminine, and the women become masculine because as soon as we put them into the workplace,
Uh-huh.
they became masculine.
Yeah, but I just don't think how do I put it? Like I don't feel like women are so entitled that they don't think that our grandmas had to work. In the US, like Kevin Samuels did a whole show on this. Like they would work on the farm.
Hmm.
Like most of history, like it was a very short period in time where women could really be housewives. That was only like the 1900s to the 50s.
Yeah.
So it's like, how entitled are you that you think you just don't get to work or
Hmm.
do anything?
Yeah, well, or at
It's
least just working around the house.
yeah, well, it's like it's a privilege. Like most women don't get to do that.
Mhm. Yeah, no, but it's just I really just truly believe, like, the provisions is just everything. Like, if a
Mhm.
man was fully ready able to provide, she would fully be in her feminine energy to wanna go work at the
No,
house or do whatever,
I
I
don't
think.
really buy that. I
You
think
know?
women are either feminine or they're not. I think that's like a load of crap they give as an excuse to why they can't be feminine. But I know feminine women that go to work and they submit to their men and they hand their men their paychecks.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're masculine, you're just masculine.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like some women are more masculine, some are more feminine. I don't think it's like put in your feminine or your
So
masculine.
you don't think that like a woman that is super masculine, say she's working all the time, she's young, she's 22,
Mhm.
23 years old, 21, a young age. And say a guy comes in and he fully does the full provision. You don't think that like if she's always been that masculine girl, you don't think that she can fall into that feminine role?
No, I think she can pretend for like a little bit. I think the truth, like she can only put on an act for so long. That's just my personal
No, no,
opinion.
I'm very curious. No, it's just the opposite of what I think. So it's very
Yeah,
cool to hear that. No,
no,
but I've never seen it that way either. That it's faking, that they're
I
faking it.
I just don't know a guy that's like because you look at it in the reverse. I don't know a guy that's super feminine that will act super masculine for the right girl. Like that just sounds like
Yeah,
nonsense. It's
yeah,
like
no, like you're completely right in that. Well, but the only ones that got forced out of the role were the women. Like I think that whenever they were forced to kind of go and become boss babes because they had to work under another
yeah.
man, under a boss.
But what is your role? I'm like, before you had to work on the farm. That's a freaking masculine like
Yeah, but your boss was your husband or it was your
yeah.
man. Like you had to work. You're right,
Yeah.
but what who was the company you were working for?
Yeah.
Of your own home, like your husband's taking to his company,
Yeah,
kind of.
but what's what's the
I
difference?
think that whenever they go and they argue with their bosses,
Uh-huh.
over the last since the 70s, whatever, I think
Uh-huh.
them going and arguing with their bosses every day, having to go work and stuff, I think that's what ruined everything
No,
because then they come home and they're going to argue with their husband. If their husband
no.
made enough money, and if you think about it really
I
today,
don't
provisioning is harder than ever. Guys,
uh-huh.
you need at least like here in Dallas, you need at least 150K a year to be a
Mhm.
true provider. And it's
Mhm.
hard to be a provider today because
Uh-huh.
women want more than ever.
True.
There's Amazon, there's all
Mhm.
this shit on the internet, TikTok showing you
Uh-huh.
ads. they want more than ever. So most guys can't be a true
Mhm,
provider. And
mhm,
I've been a true provider in multiple relationships, and I've been in some relationships I wasn't.
mhm,
And I could see clearly that the
mhm,
women, whenever I fully took care of them and fully provided in every way, and
mhm,
I mean, even in the way of, I learned all this from Jay Waller because he's the one
mhm,
who kind of talks about men doing stuff like this. That if you're a full man, a woman falls into her role.
mhm,
But like whenever I've done all those things and I've gone fully into my role, they completely become the woman that you want them to be. It's
mhm,
just like
mhm.
what they're yearning for, you know?
I mean, I've never dated women. You might be right. It's just my opinion. You're either feminine or you're not.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any of this. Most of the crazy thing is most of those women submit to their bosses.
Hmm.
So it's not like they're arguing with their boss. Most of them go to work, submit to their boss, and come home and argue with their husband.
Well, I think that's what started the because think about it. In the 60s, 70s, there was
Mhm.
no competition in the household between
Uh-huh.
the husband and the wife.
Mhm.
But then when she goes to work, she's having to argue with her boss, argue
Uh-huh.
with her coworkers. She's having to
Uh-huh.
compete in a
Mhm.
in an office
Mhm.
environment. And so
Mhm.
what do? It's a habit. It's just like anything else in the world. Men
Mhm.
men can have a habit of competing because what do? We get better and better and
Right,
better.
right.
But if a woman gets into a habit of competing with coworkers, boss, whatever
Mhm.
it is,
Mhm.
she's gonna come home and bring that back to you. That masculinity comes back with
Yeah,
her.
but the real feminine women don't pick jobs where they have to compete. Like they'll go be a teacher or
Mhm.
like they'll go pick a feminine job.
Yeah.
It's like I it's just my opinion. I just think it's a load of bullshit.
Yeah.
I think girls just make excuses for their poor behavior. And I don't think having to work like one, most people have had to work
Mhm.
throughout history. I don't think it puts you in your masculine. I think you're just lazy and you don't feel like being nice to your husband.
Yeah, and I could totally see that for sure because women are more lazy now than ever, and they definitely are more entitled than ever. So you
Yeah.
got to fight it all on every.
And our life is easier than ever too is the crazy thing. It's like you got Roombas, you got air fryer, like it's not that like stop it. It's not that hard.
So like if you could make a choice and go back in time and have a normal, like say Christian relationship where like you're a virgin, you marry another virgin,
Mhm.
was that something that like you think people should return back to? I mean, we both know that the world's going to keep going. We may never go back to that, but
Uh-huh.
if it was your choice, would you choose that over what's going on today, the hedonistic lifestyles?
Oh yeah, no, I mean if I could I wanted to wait till I was married. So like if I could go back and do that, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Like I just think it makes more sense.
No, I wish I could too, and that's why I try to teach these men is
Mhm.
because like I as a guy that's gone and experienced a lot, I
Uh-huh.
like to tell them, I've done all of it, the spinning
Mhm.
plates and everything. It
Mhm.
doesn't fulfill like they say they do, and
Mhm.
that's another thing I want to
Mhm.
ask you your opinion on. What do you think about spinning plates? What do you think about the red pill spears teaching that?
Well, okay. I think that the problem is modern women have slept around. And the way you make modern women fall in love is sex. Is that's the best like how many times have you heard the term dickmatized?
Yeah,
How if you're not going to marry a virgin, which most men aren't, how do you get good in bed?
yeah,
So it's not like fun. It's weird because I wouldn't really like want to recommend it, but it's kind of like if they're not marrying virgins, what else are they supposed to do?
hmm. So this is another thing I like. Kind of goes into another thing I like talk about, like the chicken versus the egg argument. Like, who came first? Who started it? Was it the men or the women that started this?
Mm,
Like the
men,
vicious cycle.
I mean, men started it by giving women what they asked for.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it just started with feminism. I don't believe in like first wave, second wave, third. I just think it was all one. It was always freedom without responsibility. Starting with the right to vote. Honestly, they wanted the freedom of voting without the responsibility of getting drafted. So, and then I think birth control is what was the worst out of everything because that gave women the option to like sleep around, and then the hose came, and then
Yeah,
yeah.
Rolo shows how the graph went up like crazy whenever that happened, whenever the birth
Yeah.
control came out.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I think that was like the nail in the coffin, but I think it was coming.
So do you think that there's a lot of guys though that should also take accountability for being like shitty men, aren't leaders, they're not stoic, they're not good at relationships or they're cheating all the time. Like what do you think about those men? Are they to blame at all?
Um, no, I don't think you can blame guys for sleeping around. If you're gonna put meat in front of a tiger, you can't be mad at the tiger that they proud. You can't. You can maybe say stop putting the meat in front of them.
See, and this is where like I kind of disagree with Rolo on some things. It's because I love his book and I love everything about Red Pill, but
Mhm.
it goes back to a very hedonistic society that's almost cave people. Like
Uh-huh.
like if we were still cavemen 3,000 years ago running
Mhm.
around the plains or something like that. But since, over time we've had religion, we've had society advance a lot,
Mhm. Mhm.
in every way, shape, and form.
Mhm.
So I just philosophy. It's just
Mhm.
we're not just animalistic men anymore.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I truly believe that as men, if we want the religion, is what kind of drove us to where we are at today.
Mhm.
To get us to a successful
But men
point.
aren't religious today.
Yeah, but that's why I'm fighting to make men. I'm honestly not as strong of
Uh-huh.
a Christian anymore. I was very passionate about it when I was
Mhm.
young, and but I truly believe in connecting science and religion and spirituality, and that's something that people aren't doing today. I found a way to
Mhm.
do it with Joseph Campbell's book, and
Mhm.
a lot of people need to
Mhm.
find that merge because we're never going to fix the world if we don't
Mhm.
do that.
I mean, I just don't think anything will really change until we start to take power away from women without the responsibility that comes with it. So
Mhm.
I don't really see men and women coming back together until they change the marriage laws. That's just my opinion. And I think it's the same thing in churches. Like, I think a lot of churches have given too much power to women and they tell men to accept bad deals. Like, why are you waiting until marriage for a non-virgin bride? That doesn't make any sense. Wait for
Yeah.
the next round of 22-year-olds.
Yeah.
Stop. Stop it. Like,
It's nice. I usually get ridiculed because I always date younger girls, but it's nice
mm.
having somebody that's not going to ridicule me for that.
No, no, because it's like, okay, if you're asking, it's like we're making a deal, like a business deal, at marriage, right? Men like purity and youth,
Hmm.
and women want to be protected and provided for. So the church is saying, you're not going to get purity or youth, but still give the girl all the protection and the provisioning without getting that like a good deal. So it's like, I, it's hard, and he's gonna wait. Oh, stop it, stop it.
What advice do you give to your brothers? I don't know how old they are, but are they in the dating age? Are they having trouble in the
Um,
dating market?
no, they do really well. They're both
They're all
successful.
tall.
Yeah, they're all successful. My older brother, I'd say marry your girlfriend because she's great. My other brother, my oldest brother, that was given up for adoption, he's married. My younger brother, he's got a girlfriend. I really like her. Yeah, I mean, I would just say like, try to find the purest girl you can. I mean, you can't. You're never gonna really know, but I mean, you can like, if you know her mutual friends, you can kinda see,
Yeah,
like, birds of the same feather flock together,
yeah.
right?
No, but do you talk to them regularly about any of this stuff? I mean, because you're so good at this stuff. Like, does your family ask you for advice in these type of things?
No, no. I mean, my brothers, like, don't really need help.
They do fine,
They do. They've been bringing beautiful girls home for
for
yeah,
years.
yeah, like, it's just not
They don't even need it.
And my sisters no, I'll talk to my sisters a little bit about it, but I'm a big believer in letting people do what they're gonna do. I'll give you advice if you ask, if you want it, but,
Mhm.
like, you can't really control people.
Okay. So, like, do you think that anything like that's going on in the red pill manosphere and stuff, do you think that this is causing more of a hedonistic cycle? Because there's a cycle of women, sleeping around, doing all this bad stuff. Do you think that if they sit there and they tell guys like spin more plates, like focus more on your physical attributes,
Mhm,
focus more on, surface level thinking,
mhm.
surface level things, do you think that that's gonna help us spiritually in the long run? Do you think that's a hedonistic cycle that's just like Sodom and Gomorrah, and it's just gonna end up biting us in the ass at some point?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I think it's we have modern problems and we have modern solutions. Again, most men are going to date modern women in the US. Most men aren't gonna, passport bro it out of here.
Yeah.
Most men aren't gonna marry a virgin. So what do? You spin plates because like that's the only way you can make women fall in love. That's not fun, but like it's a modern solution.
Yeah.
So I mean you can say we wish it was back to the way it was, but we're here and that's the only solution that I really think is a good one. Money, muscles, game, frame. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. So one of the things I also no, go back to the money muscles game frame thing. Do you think that like the girls that are choosing the guys that aren't, gym guys or anything like that,
Mm.
like do you think that they're making a huge mistake because they're gonna end up leaving him one day because they're gonna want that protector, like that bigger
Um,
attractive guy?
I mean, every girl's got a type. So, I mean, I would just say look at if she's not genuinely attracted to him, I think that she may leave. I would just say look at her exes. What do they look like?
Is genuine
Some
desire something that you like as a girl and like you've read Rolo's books, you know
Mhm.
how big of a deal genuine desire is and everything. Do
Mhm.
you, like whenever you get into a relationship, do you really try to focus on showing that genuine desire, or is it natural? Is it a natural thing for a woman to have that like he talks about? It's just a natural thing.
Yeah, I think genuine desire is real. I think that if she's making you jump through hoops, it's probably just not you.
Okay.
Um, and I think, you know, yeah, yeah, I think genuine desire is important for a modern woman. I think for a traditional woman, it's not as important, but for a modern woman, it is.
Is genuine desire something that's easy to have multiple times, you think, or do you think that as a girl sleeps around too much, do you think that she's gonna lose the ability to have that genuine desire?
Yeah. Um, maybe if she sleeps around more, it's harder to keep the guys she has genuine desire for, I would say.
Okay. Hmm.
But no, yeah, that's I don't know. I have to think about that. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I,
No.
I mean, I think it's harder for her to like bond, but I'm just thinking like I don't know.
It kind of makes me think about alpha widow. Do you think that a woman can be alpha widowed in multiple categories? Kind of like you can, if she's been with a 6 foot guy, then she's only gonna want guys that are like that, or like this guy's the best
Mm,
sex, so I don't want to settle for a guy unless the sex is as good as this guy was, or
um, let me think. No, I think women are. I think it's like she's alpha widowed, but then she could be alpha widowed like again. So like then like the next guy makes her forget about the last one. But no, I don't. I think women can only love one man at a time. So.
okay, yeah, no, that's a really interesting response. Just because most people I've talked to have always thought, that they like. I've had some girls agree that they think that there's certain things that they are alpha widowed in, but now you say it that
Mhm,
way, how like if they have that true genuine desire for a guy, they're gonna
mhm.
be alpha widowed by just
Yeah,
that one
well,
thing at the time.
yeah, well, no, I mean, okay, so if a girl, she's 16, she's alpha wit, like she thinks this guy is the best she's ever gonna do, right? Like, so she's alpha widow, like the one that got away, Katy
Hmm.
Perry.
Yeah.
But then, okay, let's actually use Katy Perry as an example. The one that got away, that was about her high school sweetheart.
Hmm.
But now she's married to Orlando Bloom.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I think she probably is fine.
Yeah. Yeah. She's definitely probably not alpha widowed. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well, like, I
She
think
has genuine desire
it's
for
kinda
him.
like because Rollo explains it, it's like, does she view that guy as the best she can do?
Hmm.
I'm just imagining that Orlando Bloom is better than the high school sweetheart, so if she views him as the best she can do, like, that's her alpha. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, for sure.
But, I
Oh
don't know
no,
I don't
he's the
know what this
best.
high school sweetheart he did get a really big pop star,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a cool thing to be able to say you did.
yeah,
So something that I like to talk about a lot on here is that the misogyny,
misogyny.
the misandry. I definitely think that there's
Yeah,
a lot of this going around, and I like to go back to the fact that I think a lot of it's happening is because the 25 and under people that were raised with iPads and iPhones and just the internet, at their fingertips. I'm 31, so I
mhm,
didn't get my first iPhone until I was 18 years old,
mhm,
and I didn't watch porn on it probably till I was like 20, 21 or something like that.
uh-huh,
So, but these kids that are under 25,
mhm,
they were getting it at 12, 13, 14, depending
mhm,
on what their parents did. I truly believe that like guys are starting to watch porn, at that young age, and they're maybe becoming misogynist because they're seeing certain type of things or women, and that's driving them to be a certain way. And then the women, they become misandrous because they get dick pics at 13 years old on their
mhm,
first Instagram from
mhm.
30-year-olds and 40-year-olds, and then next thing you know, they hate men the rest of their life. Do you think that for that generation, for the people, how old are you again?
I'm 25.
So you would know then the most because of your peers.
Mhm,
Do you think that that generation is going to have an extremely hard time over the next 10, 20 years dating because of this starting with the internet right there in your hands, social media,
mhm,
porn, all that
mhm.
stuff right there?
I think porn is mm, I don't really think they become misogynist and misandrous because of porn or like men sending you dick pics. I think women become misandrous because society brainwashes you from a young age. I don't think it's like actually men doing bad things. I think it's like because we're taught to hate men. I don't meet a lot of male misandrists. I'm in the red pill, like the most
Oh
like or
yeah, I don't mean male
misogynistic. Sorry,
misandrous. Yeah,
sorry, misogynist.
yeah.
I'm in the red pill, so like the most misogynistic space. I don't really meet any. I do think that porn has corrupted dating.
Mhm.
I've never seen porn. And no, people don't believe me, but I've literally never seen it. Um, but I think just like talking to guys, it makes them like lazier with girls, and maybe they don't develop the way they're like supposed to because they can just like turn on the computer instead of like learning to approach. And I think it makes like men more socially awkward, and women value like social status.
Hmm.
So that's what I see. As for women, I mean, half of these 13-year-olds are posting naked like pictures.
I mean, their parents are horrible if they're doing that shit. That's
Yeah, I
horrible,
see
man.
it on TikTok. It'd be like 13-year-olds posting ass videos. Like I'm like,
Yeah, see, that's
and
crazy.
now
That's
you're getting
wild.
dick pics and you're gonna hate men. Stop it.
Yeah, I just feel bad for. I would genuinely just feel bad for a girl that's 13 years old getting dick pics, and she's a normal girl. You know, like say she's a normal girl, I could understand why she might start hating men a little bit because of getting something like that, or getting
if you
tons of messages from men.
if you're getting them, I think you're posting something
You're doing
weird. Yeah,
something. Well,
because
her parents shouldn't be letting her on social media anyway.
yeah, but like I'm just not, and this is probably controversial, but like I think like even at 13, 14, like you still kind of know what you're doing. Like you're not an idiot. Like you're young, but like what,
When did you get your first social media? Since you're 25,
I was in 8th grade.
you're in 8th grade,
So I don't know how old I was.
and it was Instagram.
No, it was Facebook.
It was Facebook.
When did I get Instagram? 16 maybe?
And then, like, so what was your experiences on them at a young age? Like, it's opposite of what I'm saying. You didn't really get a bunch of dick pics or anything.
No,
But you
like
probably
'cause
didn't post any lewd photos.
no, I never posted anything crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I didn't really like it really wasn't that big back then. The only weird stuff is my friends and I would go on Omegle.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? You know
Yeah.
what that
Yeah.
is? So like, oh yeah, that was my first time I saw like
That's where it's like a new person.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Random.
you just get random guys like, but I would never hate men. I would just be like, ah,
Yeah. What the hell?
I'm like,
Yeah.
ah, put it
Yeah.
away.
No, that's so. Yeah, I guess you're kind of defeating my theory. I thought that there's a lot of women that are being ruined by that, but maybe it's just the women that I'm talking to, which are just not living more of a conservative, not conservative, but
I just
just
think
like life like
if
yours.
you're getting crazy shit, like you're probably putting something out there. Like I
Yeah,
just don't,
it's an accountability thing, and most people don't want to take
because
accountability for
even
that.
now I have a huge platform. I could probably count the number of like crazy like I've gotten like videos or message, like pictures that I've actually gotten. Like I think Instagram filters for it or something because I've less than 5, and like and I got
Yeah, yeah,
60 something million views this month.
yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
people there might be
And to the
filtering out for
5
you.
and to the 5 or less that did it, I did not appreciate that. I did not appreciate that.
Uh, hey, my girlfriend's in chat. What's up? What's up, everybody? Is there any questions? Does Danny have one? No.
Yeah, he does. So Danny says, one second.
After interviewing so many people on your show, what do you think the future is for relationships between the sexes? Do you think women are realizing they need to step back into their feminine?
Again, I don't really believe in the the stepping into your feminine. I think you're either feminine or you're not. But I think that families will come together when there's hard times. So I think whenever they start to pull back the government handouts, I think whenever they start to change the laws, and whenever they start to stop bailing women out of their bad decisions, women were opportunistic. So as soon as they stop bailing us out, then we find something.
Yeah, as all it takes is one war, and we go back to old school shit.
Yeah, they'll be running to the kitchen.
Yeah.
We're not getting drafted.
Yeah, no, for real.
I don't need to vote. I don't need to drive. Like,
I wanted to also ask, what do you think about religion? Are you religious at all, or are you just kind of against it? Do you consider yourself atheist? What are you?
oh, that's interesting. I was Catholic for 12 years. For till I was I would say like through maybe like halfway through college. After college, I was actually really into like Christian. I was trying to figure out like what religion I was. And I went to Christian church. I did Bible study like twice a week for 2 years. And I did actually get baptized in that church. But there was always something I couldn't put my figure on that like didn't sit right with me with churches, but I could never describe what it was. And I decided that countries that follow Christianity or Catholicism, like, okay, wait, let me take a step back. I was trying to figure out what religion was right, right? And I was like, okay, if I was God, what I would do is I would make it so the people that follow me like tend to do better. So I was like, okay, what countries are dominating? And I was like, Christian, Catholic, Jewish. So I found out all the shit you had to do to be Jewish. I was like, I can't be Jewish. I really wanted to
Can't
be
do
though,
that.
because I was like, oh, they don't have to believe in the miracles, and the miracles are kind of hard for me. I'm like
Yeah.
so, but I was like, ooh, that'd be cool to be Jewish. And they also believe that you can get into heaven even if you're not Jewish, if they do good. So I was like, I'll put that on the Jews if they're right. And so then I was like, Christian and Catholic are left because they said all the stuff you got to do. I'm like, I just don't think I want it that bad.
It's a little bit too much
Yeah,
work.
a little too much work. I started Googling it. And so then there was Catholic and Christian. And I felt like my issue with Christianity is like everyone read the Bible and come up with your own interpretation. So I'm like, that's why they got like a million different types of Christianities, because they just read the Bible. And then the Catholics, they believe you go to the institution, but institutions are flawed too.
Hmm.
So it's hard because I like Christian church better, and I could see myself long term go to Christian church because I think that Christians, like, they just got more, they're like community based. They got like, it's just more fun to like go. But I think Catholics like are more right about things because it makes more sense to me to go to an institution than to go to individuals.
Hmm.
However, I think they're both have kind of lost their way because now we got the Pope saying things like like
Yeah.
it's like so I feel like I would be really religious if I could have an institution that I could go to, but it's like I feel like there's a lot of people that would be religious, but we're lost, you know?
Oh, I completely agree with that. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people are lost. But shout out to Joseph Campbell. Everybody needs to go read his book, The Warrior or The Hero of a Thousand
Mhm.
Faces, because that's what really saved me for religious reasons. I wanted to also ask you, what do you think about complementarianism? Do you think that like a
I don't know what that word is.
so that's like a relationship Jewish people, Christians, Catholics believe in a lot. It's basically saying that, like the man or the woman isn't better than the other. They're both good at certain things. Like,
Uh-huh.
and that's all. It's just saying, and I mean, obviously I think that the man is the 51%. He's gonna make the
Yeah,
final
yeah,
say in
yeah.
things. But yeah, what do you think about that? Do you think that women are also like way better than men at certain things, and then men are way better than women at certain things?
Yeah. I mean, I think women and men are different and they're
It's
better
the
at different
opposite of
things.
egalitarian.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think men and women are different. We're good at different things. Like
Okay.
I think women are better at like picking up on social cues.
Yes.
So like we'll see the dirty look someone gives us at a bar where men were like, "What are you talking about?" Or I think men are more I don't know, men are just better at things, but men are better at things that make like societies run, like
Hmm.
building societies, fighting, that
Okay.
sort of thing.
Uh, One of the things I wanted to ask about is I truly believe that like a lot of the problems that we have today are because of men because we
Mhm.
shape the environment.
Mhm.
The environment's your destiny
Mhm.
for the most part. For most people, the environment's your destiny. But who really shapes the environment? Who makes the laws and stuff? It's mostly men. So I always say that it's men's fault, and women are kind of just being brought up in this. They're just
Mhm.
victims of their environment. So I don't like to blame them for who they become.
No, I mean they're not children, they're women.
Well, if you were born in India, you would have been a Hindu, and
Mhm.
there's no choice about it. Like you were just born there. Your environment is your destiny. You don't really get to
Mm,
decide everything.
I mean, I know one homeless girl. I know two girls that were homeless, and one became a hooker, and one didn't. And it's like, I don't know. I think you have some choice.
Well, yeah, it's like the old saying of like the two twin brothers with alcoholic father. Like one of
Yeah,
them saw the father and became alcoholic, and one saw it and said,
yeah,
"I'm never gonna do that."
yeah. No, I mean, do I think men are at fault? Yes.
Yeah.
I think men, you're right, they did shape the laws and they allowed women to manipulate them, is kind of the way I would put it. But at the end of the day, like we asked for this.
Hmm.
So, and at the end of the day, I think men today are still traditional for the most part, and I think women today aren't.
They're not at all. Yeah, unless you go to another country, right?
Yeah, so I think it's more it's hard because you're right. Like men did create the laws and they built the society, but it's kind of like they were trying to appease us.
Yeah.
And so because of that, it's like we asked for it.
Hmm. No, it is. I take accountability for all men. Um, what was something else? Is there another question? What is your opinion on meeting a girl through cold approach versus through a social circle? Oh, that's gonna bring on to my other
Cold
question.
approach. I honestly, I don't think men approach that much in real life. So I'm a big fan of cold approach. I think it shows like you're confident, and I'm a big fan. But I think like your success rate is probably higher through social circle because we value social status so much. So like the more people that we know you, it's like the more like the less likely you're crazy.
Okay, well, here's like a couple things I disagree with Red Pill a lot on. I'm a big person on being friends with girls. My entire life since I grew up with sisters, and my
Mhm.
mom was I was raised in a hair salon with my mom. I
Mhm.
always around women and stuff. I always had girlfriends. I've always also had best friends that were girls. I even went to prom with one of my best friends,
Mhm.
and I've always been close friends with women. I've
Mhm.
never had best friends as guys.
Mhm.
Every guy that I did have as a close friend robbed me or screwed me over in some way
Mhm.
because of competition and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I've always tended to have girls as friends, and because of that, I've never had an issue getting in a relationship my entire life.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's pre-selection or what it is,
Mhm.
but I've always had easily had relationships because of all the girls around me. Do you think that it's wrong that red pill teaches men to just completely kind of shun women in
Mhm.
friendships?
Mhm.
Like say that if she doesn't sleep with you on the first time, don't even talk to her again, type of thing.
Okay, I think that a mating strategy, having beautiful women around you and pretty women, is a good one. I definitely think that helps for sure. And I think there was even red pill guys I know would co-sign that. Um, what I think they're talking about is men that are friends with women because they want to get in a relationship with
Mhm.
them and give them time, attention, and resources when there's no end date, and like she really just doesn't view you that way.
I try to tell them to friend zone them first. Like you have to friend zone the girl first. You can't let her friend zone you. You need to tell her from the start, you're my friend, and I'm not
Actually, I
wanting
agree
anything
with
from you.
that. I agree with that because then they kind of want you more because you
Yes,
friend zoned
it works
them.
every
Yeah,
time. I don't
yeah,
know why, but it does.
yeah. I mean, I do think that most men aren't friends with 300-pound women, and I think there's a reason.
Yep.
However, I'm not in the camp you can't have any friends of the opposite sex. I just think usually there's an underlying sexual attraction, or there's like has to be like a reason, you know.
Yeah. What was the other thing that was very related to that?
Like a lot of times men and women are friends because one like hit on the other and they turned the other down, and that's kind of how.
Yeah. No, that's funny. There was something else that was in line with that I disagree with on Red Pill. The friends. Hey, y'all chat. Y'all know me very well. What's the other thing I disagree with Red Pill on? What is your opinion on?
Oh shit, I dropped my ring.
No, I am Sergio's first male best friend. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Danny. Now, all this whole group of Discord, y'all were like all my first male best friends, guys. Thank y'all. That what was I
Oh
gonna?
yeah,
Yeah,
this is the Fresh and Fit
yeah.
Discord,
This is the Fresh and
Dallas.
Fit
Oh,
Discord. Yes,
okay.
yeah. This is how I became so anti or so purple pill. It's
Mhm.
not even that I'm against red pill. I'm very naturally red pilled. I didn't
Mhm.
have to read Rollo's book to learn
Mhm.
about women. I've been around them my
Mhm.
entire
Mhm.
life. I've learned everything I need to know
Uh
about
huh.
them. So that's why I disagree with a lot of things because I have tons of experience with tons of different kinds of women to
Mhm.
kind of disagree
I
on a
don't.
lot
I
of
don't think
points.
Red Pill like hates women though. I think they just are honest about our nature and how they are. And I don't think they're anti relationships. Like I would consider Rolo like one of the founders of the red pill space, so to speak. And he always says men and women are better together. It's just like this is the environment we're living in.
See, and that's okay. Well, that's what it is. So, what I disagree with a lot of my like Myron
Mhm.
and all them is
Mhm.
like whenever they bring up on the show, like women are acting this way now.
Mhm.
So we're gonna do this. We're gonna throw our hands up in the air. We're
Uh-huh.
men. We
Uh-huh.
control the environment. We create everything. We're leaders.
Uh-huh.
But in this situation, it's not our problem. We're gonna
Uh-huh.
throw our hands up in the air, and it's
Mhm.
not our problem. And I disagree with that. It is
Uh-huh.
it is my problem. It
Mhm.
is I am gonna hold men accountable, and I'm gonna hold myself accountable,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna point out things that I think that aren't right.
You can't change all of women though.
Yeah, you can't, but I think the problem with the world is a lot of people think that they can't change the world,
Uh-huh.
but you can change the world.
Mhm.
We live in a place in America where you literally
Mhm.
have the freedom to do anything.
Yeah, just get a girl a little bit younger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I gladly will tell guys to not date, shitty girlfriends or not do anything like that.
Yeah.
I tell them all the time, you need to
So
become the biggest
so
provider possible.
so what I don't understand like what you disagree with them on. Like what piece of advice? Is it the spinning plates?
I don't agree with spinning plates. I think that you're just adding to the hedonistic cycle. There's a hedonistic
Uh-huh.
cycle going on, and the guys spinning plates are just making the women hate men because
Uh-huh.
they get spun on, and men are more liars now than ever before. And
Mhm.
nobody ever wants to talk about this, but
Mhm.
men lie and scam like crazy, and it's because they can't. How would you feel if you were a man and you can't even be perceived of as a provider?
Mhm.
Well, you're gonna go buy something that makes you look more like you have more money. You're
Mhm.
gonna lie and act like you
I
make more
don't
money than you really do.
I just think women are full of shit. I think they pretend they don't know, but like shut up. Yes, you do. And if you like okay, as someone I've had someone try to bamboozle me with children, but like I found out pretty early like they can only hide it from you for so long and the girls stay.
Yeah.
Like I just don't.
Well, it's because they start manipulating them. Like PUA. That's all manipulation tactics. That's just gonna get a girl with
Mm.
BPD to love you. That has borderline personality disorder, and they're gonna cling to anybody. Like,
No, I mean, I think women, they like a guy with game, and I don't think game is manipulation. It's building attraction. Just my opinion. I think girls act like they don't know a guy has options, or that they're the side chick, or they're like they know when we know when a dude's getting laid. Like, shut up.
I think
And
some of them though early on, like in the first, if they've only slept with two guys, one guy or
mhm,
something like that, yeah,
mhm,
those girls they can get spun on a few times, and I feel bad for them because they're
mhm,
legitimately might be good people,
mhm.
and then they're just getting screwed, like the hedonistic cycle. The guy's doing the hedonistic thing,
Yeah.
and then he's making her, and then what's she gonna go do after that? She's gonna be hurt, and then she's gonna go become a hoe. So it's just like,
Mhm.
yeah, we can sit here and say that it's not like who's. That's why I always bring up who's really starting it. Did the guy sleep with the girl and then made her the hoe?
Yeah, but she took off her clothes.
Yeah, and
So
I
like
agree.
you're in control of sex. So if you made the choice to not wait till you're married,
I
that
feel bad for them because society's telling them y'all gotta fuck, y'all gotta have sleep with people, y'all gotta do all this stuff.
yeah,
It's their
yeah,
environment that's
but
pushing them
but
into it.
I think they want to.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think it's
Well,
like
yeah, because
society.
low key we're all animals. Low key we're
Yeah,
all
and you
animals that
can
want
say,
to do that.
oh, society doesn't know, you were horny and you wanted to. Shut up.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I agree. Yeah.
stop it. It's not this man promised me something. I'm like, if you waited a little bit longer, you would have seen it. It's
Would you consider this type of stuff hedonistic? Like, is that hedonism? Is that just people living in their
okay.
pleasure?
I don't think that men should lie to women. I don't think they should lie if they're looking for something serious. But I don't think most men do. Most of the guys I know that, and I've like, I talk to a lot of guys on my show, and I'll ask them, just like, I'll be like, from a guy that's like sleeping around, like, what do you do, like this, whatever. Most of them are like, yeah, I'm upfront to these girls that this is something casual. I don't want something serious, and the girls don't listen. And it's about at 3 months, like at first in the beginning, they'll pretend they don't care, and
Hmm.
then at 3 months they'll get mad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
If he was
and
honest with you,
and most of the
I'm
go
mad at
and
the
most
guys
of
that aren't
and
honest.
most of the guys that are sleeping around, like, they're not taking these girls on dates.
Hmm.
So I'm like, what
Yeah.
did you like? They'll tell me. I've had two guys come on my show and say I could count the number of girls I've taken on real dates, and I'll be like, how many girls have you slept with? Like 50 plus.
Yeah.
So does it seem like they're getting bamboozled? Not to me.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see it. It's so I feel bad for women still. I just feel
It's
bad for
just
some
like,
of them.
girls, yeah, but take your L and move on. Like, they'll act like it's the end all. Okay, you got your heart broke. So do the men. Like,
Yeah.
and you want to make every guy pay for it forever and be a whore? Like, stop it. You made that choice, and sometimes you will never get a relationship without risk. Sometimes you try for something and you take an L. Okay,
Hmm.
take your L and move on. Like, stop talking about it for the next 10 years. No one gives a shit.
Take accountability.
Yeah, okay, even if you say you've only slept with, like, you're a virgin, okay, you lose your virginity to the wrong guy. That happens all the time. Take your
Mhm.
L and move on, sis. It's not the end all be all.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I totally get it. I could totally see that. What do we got? Then I can't say your name, man. Vanterpool Bryant. Man, it's over. LOL. These chicks are not changing, and there will remain a good amount of simps, not matter how few, not matter how few the few try. Okay, hard to read that. You got another one
Yeah, we got another from Money
from
Mike.
Mike.
Yep.
Question: What are y'all's opinions of cohabitation between men and women long term?
like, being married or not married?
Cohabitation long
Uh,
term. Like,
well,
do you mean like cohabitating whenever they're not married yet? I think that's what he means.
Yeah,
Like if
I
yeah,
think so.
if you're just would you live
uh,
with a guy, your boyfriend?
if we were getting married. But no, I've never lived with a guy. I think it's better. I'd rather just, for me personally, I would rather only move in together if there's like if we were engaged, I would move in.
See, I honestly just learned about this today. I went to my barber this morning, and she
Yeah.
just got proposed to a couple weeks ago. Shout out to America, that's her name.
Mm.
But she told me about how she's moving in with him, and she never was going to move with him before that because she said that she was scared that she would have been stuck a
Mm,
long term girlfriend.
mhm,
And I never saw it that way. I've lived with every girl I've ever
mhm,
dated.
mhm,
So I've never seen it that way. But
mhm,
now I see it from a woman's perspective like that. It's like mind blowing. Like
mhm,
that a
mhm,
woman would have that. But it makes sense. It makes
mhm,
perfect sense to stay
mhm.
with your parents until the person wants to marry you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's like crazy deep. If a guy really wanted to live together, I probably would. Like,
Yeah, so you do it
it's
if he
like,
really wanted it.
I mean, I think that's part of trusting his judgment, right?
Hmm.
But how do I put it?
It made me
The
think that
but
maybe I was moving in with girls too
mm,
too early,
well,
you
but
know?
I think the data shows that marriages are more likely to last longer if you guys get married and then move in. It's because like basically if you're moving in, it's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or if you get married, it's like we're doing this.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think it's that deep. Like I don't really care.
That was my first time to ever see it in that perspective, though.
Yeah.
Question: What are y'all? Oh no, we already said that one.
Yeah, that's
Not
all the
married. Yeah,
questions
he
right
was
now.
saying not married. Yeah.
Hmm.
What was some? There was something else that I disagree with sometimes on Red Pill that I was gonna ask you. Donnie, can you think of one of the things?
So Danny actually
Oh,
put
I already
something
said
in
the French
here.
thing.
He put a couple of here. Let's see.
Oh, that's what I kind of wanted to ask. What do you, whenever it comes to guys, like I teach guys to not use social media at all. I think that is all surface level, just fake, just pictures, just like a lot of guys are just. Whereas if you go cold approach, like you're saying,
Hmm.
women like that more, and so like that.
Hmm.
That's I'm an all natural person. I believe that you should only
Hmm.
meet people
Hmm.
natural and do
Hmm.
stuff like that. Do you like? What do you think about that opinion? Do you think that the guys in the red pill space should sit there and put their like put their seat across all the platforms for them to try to get girls, or should they kind of focus on natural stuff like you kind of like, where it's easier
Um,
to
no,
do it?
I mean, I would say if I was, saying I'm like cast a wide net, so I would have an Instagram if I was a dude. But most of y'all are trash at Instagram. So a lot of y'all I would say to maybe not use it. But if you could get it like a couple thousand followers and have a good built profile, I think I'm if I was a guy, I would just cast a wide net. So I don't see a problem in doing both.
I like to tell them not to do the cast the wide net thing because I truly believe that if a girl is dating online, there's
Hmm.
something wrong with her.
Hmm.
Because if a girl is beautiful or she's has the wifey type of
Hmm.
things that she does or anything
Hmm.
like that, it's gonna get scooped up real quick, and
Hmm.
she's gonna be the type to go from when she ends her relationship to probably another
Hmm.
serious one.
Hmm.
So I always tell them the reason like I always tell the guys that the reason why they're so mad and they hate all the women because of
Hmm.
how they're treating them and
Hmm.
how they're ghosting them and stuff like that, it's because they're choosing,
Hmm.
like, if they need to take accountability and stop choosing those type of girls.
Hmm.
They're the ones that are going on those apps and choosing to take that right. It's a sourcing issue, and I
Hmm.
think I've never sourced that way.
Hmm.
I've tried it, but
Hmm.
it's the dumbest thing in the world to me, so I would
Hmm.
never do it.
I mean, I think number one, I mean, it depends. What is your goal? So that's number one.
Yeah, if it's just sleeping around, obviously cast the
Yeah. So
net. Yeah.
so two, and no, I mean, I just think like love is a numbers game. So if you talk to enough women, like there's gonna bound to be one you like.
Hmm.
And I don't think it's that hard to just have an Instagram. I don't think Instagram is like. I know a lot of like nice girls with private profiles, so I don't
And
know.
even when you get back to England, are you going to or when you're dating, will you
Mhm.
let any guy hit you up like that way, or are you the type where you kind of just hope a guy comes and cold approaches you and you'll give that guy a chance over the Instagram guy?
Um, most of the I've usually met people through friends. Like that's I will say that is the number one way that I've met. Um, now Instagram, I'd be open to Instagram, like friends or Instagram. If someone DM me and I like their profile, I meet them.
Yeah,
We'll
I've just
see.
I'm so I've never I can't even say I've experienced meeting somebody online and then meeting them in person and like having
You know
something.
what? Now that
So
I think about it, like yeah, everyone I've always met in person, so maybe you're right.
I'm a very natural person. I think
Yeah.
that that's why a lot of men can't have relationships today is because they're
Oh no,
using
my
these
last
options.
boyfriend I met through TikTok. We were both like content creators. So actually, now that I think about it.
So you can meet somebody online
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
I mean, it didn't work out, so maybe not.
Globalized sexual
But
marketplace. That's another. Like, I can't even hate on the passport bros because it's like women are flying all over the place doing all types of fun stuff. How can
yeah.
I hate on these guys that want to fly to go get something better traditional?
Well, yeah, and the women are thinner and more submissive. Why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah.
I think it might be hard culturally. I think that's something they don't really talk about. Like
Yeah.
sometimes mixing cultures can be hard, but
Yeah. I don't understand how he's gonna handle the language barriers. Which shout out to you, Austin. I don't know how he's gonna do it because I
I
couldn't do it.
mean, yeah, you could figure it out. I don't think it's like the end all be all. You can figure out a way.
So with you being in England, the have you picked up on any accents you feel like or anything?
No, I'm kind of trash at the accents. I mean, yeah, they say in it.
In it.
Yeah.
Wait. What does he say? I need sparkling water. Or no, how does he say the sparkling water? I can't do Andrew Tate's voice for that one. But I'm a top G. Top G.
Oh, that's a good one.
The top. Tristan, get the spaghetti.
He doesn't
No,
even really have a British accent though. It's like a
it's
mix.
American. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a well. That's why the sparkling water. He says the water with the er of like an American accent, but he says the sparkling part with the English. It's the funniest thing ever when he says it. Shout out to you,
Yeah.
Andrew. Of all the people in the manosphere, other than Rolo, who do you also like a lot? Like your favorite influencer outside of Rolo.
Mm. Donovan, big fan of Donovan. He was really helpful to me like early on. He's really responsive too. Like he'd probably, if you wanted to get him on, like you could probably fly him out. He'd probably come.
Yeah, no, I would
Um,
love to do that. I
uh,
like any of the guys with Red Pill that are in relationships. They're my favorites because I love
yeah.
their relationship advice, obviously.
And him and Devin are really cute. I was just hanging out
Yeah.
with them. Yeah, Donovan, Rolo, I really respect his work. Allie, I mean, if you consider her red pill. I think alpha male strategies is hilarious.
Me
Like, I
too,
think
yeah.
he's really funny. If a guy tells me he watches him that I'm talking to, I might go the other way, just because of the fuck these hoes to sleep. But I think it's very funny.
Yeah, no, I like AMS too a lot. He's the one who kind of gave me what he was on Fresh and Fit, and he talked about what purple pill was, and it was a red
Mhm.
pill. It's a red pill guy who still chooses to date, and that's
Yeah.
the whole reason why I kind of came up with the name that I did was because
Steph
of
is
that.
cold is funny too. He's out in
See,
Houston.
I've never watched any of his stuff until
Yeah.
you had told me
And
about him.
and we just signed we've just started signing talent in London, where we have people, they're like, we kind of own their channels, and King Riches.
I've
He's
never heard of him either.
Yeah, he's a smaller red pillar, but he's gonna be big soon, don't worry.
I need to stop acting like I'm not against y'all red pill. I'm actually against black pill and MGTOW. So if you're black pill or MGTOW, let's argue. I don't like you because y'all are giving up way too early. It's not that bad. And the passport bros, I do feel like they're kind of giving up and leaving the country. And I want Americans to stay here and make the
Mhm.
country better. It's like
Mhm.
people literally die to get into America.
Mhm.
They will die. Like there's buses of people in at the Mexico border that die all the time
Mhm.
trying to get here. You know,
Mhm.
and it's just like I think it's a shame to leave that. I
Mhm.
think it's just kind of shameful. I don't know. What do you think about passport bros? Do you think that they should be leaving, or do you think that they're just kind of giving up, running away?
I mean, I'm a big believer in people doing what you want to do. So, if your outcome is a thinner, prettier, more feminine woman, I,
Can't hate.
yeah, it's like, yeah, I'd probably go too.
That's kind of how. And then once I heard about all the tax benefits and stuff, it was like, man, you almost got me convinced, man.
Yeah.
Maybe if I'm ever single again one day. Do we got any more questions though? I don't want to keep her too much longer. You also you also disagree about going to the gym. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I don't like guys that go to the gym or super. I think it's a super feminine trait. It's fine to go to the gym. It's like what Kevin Samuel said. It should be a baseline trait. Every guy should do these baseline
Uh-huh.
things.
Mhm.
But if you make it your life, I can understand if you're an influencer or something, or you're a gym guy and you're doing
Mhm.
training. But I feel like a lot of guys are hyper feminine today, and it's
Mhm.
because they're focusing on physical appearance. They're doing those girls should be doing it. Like all the girls should definitely be showing off their body because their beauty is how they're going to leverage to get the best man. I truly believe that women leverage beauty to get the best man, and then they show what they can do afterwards, like around the house and stuff, to hold him down.
Mhm.
And as a man, I think a man has to be a provider to get in the door normally,
Mhm.
and then how she lock or how he stays her, how he keeps
Mhm.
her is
Mhm.
how good his social circle is, because
Mhm.
that's how she knows that he's a safe person.
Mhm.
So I always trying to teach guys in that.
Yeah, the problem is women are more picky on looks nowadays than men.
Hmm.
Like they're more selective based on looks.
It's just follows
Yeah,
the hedonistic though. It's just
yeah,
like y'all are just following your pleasure, you know.
yeah. I'm not a big fan of gym selfies. Like I feel like they kind of look weird, but I
And there's a
do.
lot of gym cells out here too.
Yeah,
A lot of these guys who
but I do like a guy with muscles.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, you can't hate. I definitely think it's a baseline thing. I just think that if you're a gym cell and you're still not getting girls and you're doing all this stuff and like it's not doing
A
anything, then you're
gym cell. Oh gosh, is that
yeah,
like they just go to
a
the
guy
gym?
that goes to the gym all the time but he's still an incel.
Oh,
Like
oh God.
yeah, there's such thing as them. I've met a few and they're the most frustrated of any of
Are
them
they
because they're trying
handsome?
so hard.
Are they handsome?
Oh, I'm probably no.
Oh,
No.
okay, they're
Yeah.
so ugly.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Okay.
You have to have all of it, guys.
Yeah.
So I have a question regarding that as well, and to your point, Pearl, about most guys' IGs are trash, right?
Yeah.
Whenever it comes to the red pill space, oftentimes red pill talks about self-improvement whenever
Mhm.
it comes to men.
Mhm.
Do you honestly believe most guys that claim to be red pill are really applying themselves to self-improve or
Mhm.
just change their ways to adjust to the dating market?
Like the audience or the creators?
The audience, the creators, I think, I really do believe, after
Uh-huh.
meeting Myron Fresh, for an
Mhm.
example, other content creators are really doing the things that they're supposed to do.
Mhm.
But the people that are watching the content, do you really think they're
Um,
red pill, or do you think they're, as Sergio mentions, MGTOW, I think is the terminology you use?
Yeah, MGTOW or black pilled.
Every fan of mine that I've met has never looked like an incel or been anything. There's got like, there's some when I used to do virtual ones, like virtual shows or whatever. Sometimes the people that would call in would be a bit odd, but anyone I've met in person has like, I would guess they probably do follow it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
No.
We do have one other question that
Yeah.
just came up.
Hmm.
What is black pill? What is black pill and why against MGTOW? Can you develop, please? I'm curious. So I don't like MGTOW because I feel like you're giving up. You're giving up on women. You're saying that there's no point in even trying anymore, and I think that's wrong. I think that you need to keep trying. If anything, the problem today is that guys aren't getting enough practice with women. They don't spend any time with them as friends because they're playing so much goddamn video games. They're not going outside. They're not doing enough stuff. So you need to spend more time with them to learn about them as creatures other than just reading a book, because no woman's going to respect you for being red pilled because you read a book on it. You need to be naturally red pilled for them to really respect you.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think yeah, a lot of times resentment comes from not actually dealing with women.
Yeah, no, so that's why I'm against MGTOW, man. You gotta be around women all the time, and I'm against black pill
But
because obviously you're giving up
But
all
the
the way.
only devil's advocate is I do think the laws may not change until men actually walk away, and that's why they are. That's like,
That's why they're going to other countries. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, because it's just such a bad contract.
yeah,
Like there's men that were supposed to retire, the wife left and took half.
yeah,
I just think the laws are like very discriminatory against men.
yeah. No, I definitely think the divorce ones are messed up. Uh,
Even before they can, like, you can't legally kick a girl out if she's been at your place like 30 days in some states. It's probably less lax, and like it's probably a little bit less in Texas,
I
but
think it's the same thing here. Yeah, no, she has a pillow, then you can't kick her out.
yeah,
That's how it works. Yeah, I've had
that's
the
mad.
incident. I've had those incidences, guys. All right, another one. Question: will red pill always be radioactive topic, and will having more female creators be the key to bridging the gap to the public? I truly believe yes.
Mhm.
What do you think about that?
I think it's gonna come more mainstream. And having more female creators. I think the problem is, it's funny saying this as a female creator. I think the problem is going to be with female creators is like not saying the topics correctly. Like, because I always see Rolo talking about how people have like misinformation, and I think that's going to be an issue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially when when more women are getting into it, because
yeah,
they might not be perfect on it.
yeah,
You're pretty perfect on it though. You say the stuff by the book almost perfectly. It seems like.
yeah. I more so over time. I do think there's been times where I don't think I articulated something correctly, but like I really try, if I get something wrong, to like go back and fix it for the
Be as
next
close to
time.
that as
Yeah,
possible.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Pearl, uh, Pearl, you are great for the red pill, and the fact you're going around to all these channels, even a new one like Purple Pill Pod, is really humble of you. Austin Hallman interview would be gold.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is awesome. Awesome. It's very humble of you. Like, that is incredibly humble of you. Thank you,
Hmm.
and shout out to her for doing this, y'all.
Well, you let me use your studio, so
Yeah,
I
I
was
mean,
like,
I was sitting here doing nothing anyways all day. There's something I was gonna ask you and I can't remember now, but I thought it had to do with the last question. I'm trying to
Mhm,
find it. The more female creators thing. So that's something I truly believe is that the
mhm,
problem with the world, and I argue with a lot of red pillars, man. There's some red pillars who gatekeep like a motherfucker. Like, they're like, women in this? No.
oh, she's a
No.
grifter.
And that's what
Yeah,
I mean by there are
yeah.
some guys that are misogynistic, and that's the reason why I do what I do, is because there are some dudes that are they're gatekeeping red pill from women. It's just like, dude, if
There's
they
a
learn this stuff, we're gonna get traditional women possibly.
yeah.
And
There's
do you believe that, or do you think that it should be kind of shunned from women?
I mean, they can try, but I mean, I don't think it should be shunned from women, but I understand the problems that come with women entering a community, so I understand like why they feel like that. I will
Mhm.
say. However, should it be gay? There's even some content creators that call me grifter. I'm not gonna say names.
I don't see it at all. That person must be crazy because you look.
the
Yeah, I could tell that you say everything with your chest and you really mean it. Like
No,
you.
I do, and they act like a lot of times people get it wrong because they think I'm saying like I'm perfect, but I'm like, no, I mean I have modern tendencies too, and it's like I just think as women, like, how are we supposed to fix it if we don't know what the problem is?
And
So,
you're at least you're taking accountability to try to figure out the problem.
yeah, yeah, and I'm also opening wife school soon, so you
Yeah.
guys wait, you
See,
guys wait.
I think that's gonna be. I think that's something that women really need today. That's what a lot of the female creators should be doing is just schools on teaching women to be better
Yeah,
women.
and I'm gonna have like wives come in and teach it. It's not gonna.
It's not gonna be a single you.
Yeah, well, that's how they're like, you can't open the school because you're single, and I'm like, okay, well, I
I'm
wasn't.
friends with lots of wives
I
though.
was like, I wasn't planning on teaching it. You crazy people, like.
What is there anything else? Pearl,
Nope.
you yeah, no. Thank you though so much for coming, Pearl. I really can't say thanks enough. The wait, I disagree on the MGTOW take. Yes, some guys are like that, but some of us are just logical, logical, and see no point bothering with most women. We don't hate women. We're just making calculated moves. Look, man, if you fail or if your family screwed you over on the genetic lottery and you're having this trouble because of the genetic lottery, I'm sorry. But if it's a finance, dude, if you just need to get your money up, I guarantee you wouldn't be MGTOW if you were making 150K a year. I guarantee you wouldn't be. You would be literally able to get girls and they would be respecting you way more than the other girls were if you actually started a relationship with the right kind of mentality. So I highly suggest, man, either getting your money up to 150K, and unless you have the horrible genetic lottery and you just look like shit or something like that, you need to just get your money up, man. I bet you it will solve your problem.
And also, if you're jacked, you're gonna get jacked too. I think jacked gives guys like 2 points. So,
Okay, well then, yeah, man. She's one of the ones that's gonna say
yeah,
go hit the gym.
hit
I
the.
think you're just gonna get into a
I just think
hedonistic cycle of
if
fucking
you're,
girls, but whatever. Go to
no,
the gym.
I think if you're jacked and rich, like you probably will get a girl.
Yeah, yeah. You don't need to be MGTOW at that point, man. Does Pearl know about Kendra G? Does she think she is becoming a victim of her own philosophy, waiting and hoping for the perfect man? I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, I know who she is. I think Kendra G. I really like her. I think she's a really cool content creator. Um, I think she's a little too old to have learned this stuff. Like I just think it's like she kind of is stuck in her ways. She'll kind of, yeah, she'll probably just keep doing what she's doing. But, I think she does accept the hand she's dealt, and I do think that she makes enough money that, it seems like what she wants to do is live that lifestyle. So
Yeah.
I'm a big believer. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You do what you want.
It's kind of
So.
like Rolo. We're just gonna give you the facts, and you can do
Yeah,
what you want with it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's how I feel. I don't
yeah,
really consider myself like an advice channel.
yeah. No, that makes sense. Well, guys, thank y'all for showing up. For this special episode with Pearl. Pearl, I gotta say thank you for the thousandth time for coming and doing all this. Once again, you inspired me to do what I'm doing.
Mhm,
If it wasn't for you trying to like bring women together into the
mhm,
red pill space and talking more about relationships and
mhm,
those type of things, I don't think I would have ever done this. So I can't
mhm,
say thank you enough
mhm.
for teaching me what you've taught me, and then also coming on my own show.
Well, thanks for having me. This is a cool setup you got going, so I'm excited to see more content from you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. I got an episode, and we might have a surprise. Pearl might be here for that. So yeah, come show up for that, guys. We'll see you then. Y'all have a good
Okay,
night.
bye guys.